What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. This is episode number 94 and we start today's stuff on the back of our win over CSK in Moscow, beating the Russian side in both legs of our Champions League quarter-finals to make it through to the final four of the Champions League in our first season of the save in it. And in the final four of Europe's premier competition, Chelsea will be taking on takes a while, doesn't it? There we go, it's Liverpool in the final four, Madrid derby in the other semi, Real versus Atletico, but Liverpool in the final four. You look at the league table right now, they are our closest threat to the Premier League title as well. The gap right now is 4, as you can see we have a game in hand on the Reds, though we're 9 points clear of Man City, but no game in hand on Guardiola's side. 7 games to go, and it means win 5 of our final 7, 15 points, and we will be Premier League champions once again. But Liverpool coming for us in the Champions League in the final four. Buzzing for it. I got to be honest, all 3 teams we could face, all of which incredibly tough. You got the 2 finalists in real life this year, Liverpool and Real Madrid as well. But the Reds, there's something about all English ties in European competitions in the knockout rounds. You know, I can't really put my finger on it, but there's just been so many iconic ones over the years, particularly in the Champions League. There's just something about it which is just so cool, you know, especially in like a quarter or a semi as well. And that's what it is. Liverpool in the semi-finals of the Champions League. Bring them on. No doubt about it. I consider us favourites for it, but that will be a very tough tie, I'm sure. Anyway, first game of today's episode, 5 straight wins in all competitions for Chelsea. Obviously, you had that loss to Everton at Stamford Bridge, but that proved to be a blip. Yeah, we had a horrendous run of form around January, February time, where we only won 3 games in 10 in all competitions, and of course subsequently lost the EFL Cup final to Liverpool as well. So they've already won a major on this season, but for us right now, 5 straight wins, all competitions, and desperate to keep our treble dreams alive. Arsenal, Stamford Bridge. First game of today's episode, Declan Rice scores his first Premier League goal all season long. He's got one in the FA Cup. That's his first in a league for us as a Chelsea player. Didn't really sign him to score goals though. He's the anchor man of this team, but still great to see him get his first Premier League goal this season. And on the other end, great piece of defence, saving a certain goal for the Gunners. We're still leading by a goal, but for sure there was going to be a second goal at some point. Ramsdale made a great save, keeping it at 1-0 with 36 minutes in. Oh, how good has this guy been in the absence of Mason Mount? His run of form recently has been incredible. Hat-trick against Brentford. Great little mini goal scoring run for this guy. He's the box-to-box in this team when Mason Mount is down. I love him, man. You guys know that. I'd say he's my favourite player in this team. Kefren Turam heads in our second. This is why Mason Mount, returning from injury, hasn't been thrown back in the first 11 straight away, despite carrying a knock. I could play him, but I don't want to, because right now I don't want to risk that injury getting serious or more serious. And Kefren has been a fairly good stand-in, I guess, for Mason Mount. So he scores our second and sets up our third. Through ball to Lautaro Martinez, chasing the golden boot, chips Aaron Ramsdale. This is just absolutely inch perfect, man. I mentioned before, chip shots in FIFA CM, like they're really OP. Like chip shots in FIFA nowadays are just so overpowered. You know, if you are struggling with your one-on-ones and you do have the opportunity to go for a chip, I do recommend it, especially if the goalkeeper is a fraction off his line, because you know, ultimately, like if you get the trajectory right, you're gonna hit the target 9 times out of 10. Chip shots very rarely go wide or hit the post. So if you can just get the trajectory right, up and over the goalkeeper, but under the crossbar, 9 times out of 10, you'll probably get a goal from it as well. That's why I don't do it as much nowadays. I used to chip a lot more in the early stages of FIFA and a lot last year as well. But I don't do it as much nowadays because they are just so OP. But even so, Martinez made it free, and really, I was coasting in this game. We've got a 4th goal in the second half. Jong Sang Bin off the bench. Don't see him much, but I love it when he gets a goal. The South Korean makes it 4. And in the end, that was how the game would finish. Declan Rice missed a chance to bag a brace right towards the end, but we weren't too bothered about that. Final score, Chelsea 4, Arsenal 0. absolutely dominated this game. Really great performance. One of my best performances of the season, I'd say, here against the Gunners. Really big win, and great to see Declan Rice get a goal as well. Brought him in as the anchor man. He's been alright this season, doing his job, and a man of the match display there. So 4-0 win, and as you can see now, the gap on Liverpool remains at 6. We still have that game in hand. It's West Ham who have now overtaken Manchester City into 3rd place now. They're gaining ground, and don't get me wrong, because we're so many points clear of them, I can't see David Moyes' side making a late run for the title, but to be fair, like, from 4th place, now leapfrogging Guardiola's side going into 3rd, at this rate, they might finish as runners-up. They've come from nowhere, really, to be on the cusp of 4th, dropping out of the top 4, to being where they are right now. It's pretty crazy how much momentum they've gathered, but I guess it's not too surprising because, past couple of years, David Moyes, I mentioned before, he's done a tremendous job with West Ham. He's not being given the credit he deserves, leading them to a European semi-final. He's done a great job at the London Stadium there, and in the game as well. West Ham normally do quite well in my career modes, no exception in this save as well. So 2nd game of 3 in today's episode. Hornets, Vicarage Road away, and as we know, we are edging closer towards that title, and there's no doubt about it. It's ours to lose at this point. Several points clear of Liverpool, 6 to be exact. Still have the game in hand as well. It's our title to lose. So taking on Watford away. Heading into the game though, I rested a few of my players because we had the FA Cup semi-final on the weekend against Everton, so I couldn't field a fully strengthened lineup for this one, coming a few days after our 4-0 win against Arsenal. And I've got to be honest here, didn't play very well. Hornets right now 15th place. They're safe for another season. They're basically on holiday at this point under Roy Hodgson. They're safe for another year. They're not going down, but I didn't play very well at all. Mendy had to bail me out a couple of times. And speaking of getting bailed out, this guy is back to his best. He had a bit of a goal-scoring drought, Lautaro Martinez. He went a few games without a goal, and for a striker of his class, I often talk about it. Sometimes when you're that good, you can be a victim of your own success. You go into any kind of mini goal drought and the media scrutinise it, but Martinez, no doubt about it, back to his best now. Back-to-back goals, 24 goals in 28 games, still leading away in the race for the Golden Boot, and that goal there opens the scoring and finally breaks the deadlock. With 2 minutes to go here, this is one of those games where I talk about it a lot. The opponents kind of run out of steam, if you will. They used up all their chances, used up all their energy, and then late towards the end of the game, as we were still leading by a goal, we had a great chance to score a dagger here. A couple of great blocks and saves, kept it at 1-0, but to be honest here, Watford didn't really cause him any problems. Once Martinez got to go, it kind of knocked the stuffing out of him, if you will, and in stoppage time, Conor Gallagher gets on the end of a Dembele flick-through ball and smacks it in. Far corner as well. That is only Conor Gallagher's 2nd appearance in the Premier League since coming in January. It's crazy when you think about it though. His impact has been greater than the minutes played, if that makes sense. Like, Gallagher obviously was the hero for us in our FA Cup 4th round replay over Bournemouth, getting us through on his debut to the last 16. He's had some big moments already, but that was only his 2nd appearance in the Premier League since coming in January. Even so, he racked the points up there, 2-0, Martinez and Conor with the goals. We do get the win. Not my best performance, but talk about it a lot. That's what champions do. They find a way to win, even when they're not at their best. We did once again, and after Wolves beat Manchester City, thank you Bruno Lage, that surely ends it now. No chance whatsoever for Pep Guardiola's side to catch up. You see the league table now, they dropped to 4th, as you know. They're 15 points behind with 5 games to go. It is over for Manchester City. West Ham's title dreams are almost over, and now, because that was our game in hand, we got 9 points clear of Liverpool with 5 games to go. Win 3 of our final 5. We're Premier League champions, because the goal difference swing is so big as well. It's a massive goal difference swing, really. I mean, it's going to take a monumental collapse for us to not win this title. And I talked about it. The FA Cup has become ours to lose. We won it last year. It's now ours to lose, because you would have seen, with the teams that were remaining, we were the only top 6 team remaining in the final 8 of the competition. Liverpool, for example, got knocked out by Bristol City. So this became our competition to lose. And now the Premier League has done so as well. So it'll be the most epic bottle job of all time now if I don't win the Premier League. And even retaining the FA Cup will be a bottle as well, considering the fact we are overwhelming favourites based on the teams that are remaining in the competition. So it's like, we'll either be massive bottlers, but realistically we should be drinking bottles of champagne, I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about, but you know what I'm trying to say. We're so far clear in the Premier League, and because of the teams remaining in the FA Cup, we are favourites to win this as well. So for our 3rd and final game, FA Cup semi, Everton at Wembley. And heading into the game here against Frank Lampard's side, I'll be honest here, whilst we are overwhelming favourites, we've had big troubles against Everton during this series, both with the Saints and with Chelsea as well. They beat us at the bridge this season. That was our last defeat in this really good winning run of 7 in all competitions. Before that, it was a loss to Everton at home. So Frank Lampard's side heading for, hopefully, an FA Cup final for their first since against Chelsea all those years ago. But I wasn't prepared for lightning to strike twice and the Toffees to end my unbeaten run. No, I wanted to make amends. I wanted to avenge my demons. And right before the break, welcome back, Mason Mount. Out with 3 months with a broken toe. And whilst Kefren came in and did a really good job, there's no doubt about it. We went that horrendous run of form of just 3 wins in 10 in all competitions and lost the EFL Cup final during that process as well. Mason Mount was a big reason why. We missed him big time. I talk about it. He's the heartbeat of this team. The box-to-box, the energy, the driving force through the middle. We missed him big time. And on his comeback game, wearing the armband, with no Kante, and obviously Pope starting in between the sticks as he's our cup goalkeeper, gave him the captain's armband. That's what leaders do. Big game, return, heads in the opener right before the break. So leading by 1. To be fair though, the Toffees did cause me a lot of problems. Whilst I did mention we are overwhelming favourites to retain the competition now. And I do feel very confident in my own ability to try and get this FA Cup back in the cabinet for a 2nd straight year. The Toffees did cause me some problems, but 10 minutes to go after Nick Pope made a couple of great saves here. We were still leading by 1 and doubled our lead as well. It's a brilliant through ball to Marcus Thuram, and how good is this guy in limited minutes, by the way? What a squad player he is. I mentioned at the start of the season I was contemplating selling him. I'm so glad I didn't. He doesn't get much game time. When he does, he often chips in with a goal or an assist. In this game, it was the former, and it was the dagger as well. Final score, Everton 0, Chelsea 2, and there we go. We are into the FA Cup final, and we avenge our demons. It was the Toffees that ended our unbeaten run back in March, but now we get our revenge. We dumped Frank Lampard's side out of the cup. We're into the FA Cup final, and you would have seen who we've got. Eddie Howe's Newcastle United. Oh, the wait for their first major honour in so long could well end against us. But when you look at the table right now, 9 points clear of Liverpool, and after their defeat to Manchester City, we now have a game in hand. We are almost there. The Premier League is within our grasp. We just need 2 more wins, and we're into the FA Cup final as well. The treble dreams live on. But coming next, the Champions League semis against Liverpool. You know, if they've given up the Premier League, they'll be putting all their eggs in one basket and going for that. Can't wait. Bring it on. But that will end today's episode of the Realistic Remember, guys. Big thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. If you haven't, please drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day. And I'll see you for the next episode of the Champions League semi-final against Liverpool very soon.